tail, show and tail. Good Monday morning. Welcome back to the Noosh Weekly Vlog. Once again, I am Chris Noosh, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm working on this week in my studio. This week's going to be another week that's a little bit hectic for me to create a linear story going on, because I have another commission piece, and I'm continuing to work on the freelance piece I started last week. So those things I can't share with you, but the things that I can share with you are going to be fun. This week, I have a collaborative project that I'm working on with the print department at Kennesaw State University, and I need to carve a 8x10 block, which I've got right here, and that block is going to tell the collaborative print is going to tell the story of 2020 from four different perspectives, four different artist perspectives, I guess. And the aspect that I decided to focus on was how, even through everything, people try to find unique and creative ways to still come together and experience the company of others. So I drew up this piece, and that's just the outline and the plan for the work. But I want to carve this onto this 8x10 piece of wood this week. So that is goal number one, is to carve out this cell phone FaceTime conversation piece. And to go along with the other carvings that I have to work on this week, I'm also going to work on a handful more of some tiny carvings. I've got some scrap wood to draw upon and do some more tiny carvings. So that is the plan for this week. The first thing I need to do is get this drawing onto this piece of wood. So I've got my drawing attached to the board, and I've got a piece of tracing paper underneath it. And in true cooking show fashion, I've already sketched out and drawn over this drawing. And all I need to do is flip up the paper to see what I've drawn underneath. So let's see how that looks. Flip it this way. Got a couple pieces. I got two pieces of tape on the bottom. I tape it down so the paper doesn't move, and we're just gonna flop it up, and that's a big old fail. Why didn't it transfer? All right, so I guess I gotta do that again. Let's try this again. I've drawn over it one more time, this time with purple, so I can see the different marks that I made this time, so I didn't forget an area. But I probably did. Peel off the tape there. This time I used paper with charcoal on it, charcoal dust. And that seems to have made an impression. There we go. So I can use that to solidify my drawing with Sharpie and other types of markers. So that is the next step, and that is what I'm going to do. And the rough sketch is drawn out onto the board now. Spray paint this up, and I can start carving. But before I do that, I'm going to draw out a couple tiny carvings on some scrap wood. Marty, you coming to visit me? It's Tuesday morning now, and yesterday I drew out some of the tiny carvings. You saw me draw out a handful of these, but I ended up drawing 25 of them in total as I was kind of just winding down last night. So I have 25 in total. I'm going to show you them all. Clear it off. Bring in all of them. We got a snail, a little Tasmanian tiger, a beaver, a rocket, and a walrus, bear, a cactus, a skunk, an owl, alligator, and an octopus. Got a manatee, a mountain range, a rhino, and a narwhal, a little capybara. Got a killer whale and a long-necked dinosaur. You got a triceratops. Well, it's a uniceratops, really. I got a snick. I think you saw me draw this one, the panda with the music note because he's dancing. A bee and a sea turtle. And a slice of pizza monster. One more. I've got a platypus, which I don't know if I'm going to carve this one. I probably will just because it's, won't take me that long. But I messed up with drawing it. It looked too scrawny, and then I added more, and then I kind of lost myself in it. So, but yeah, it's there. Maybe someone will like it. Anywho, so I've got that done. And I have this piece drawn out onto the board, but I'm going to have to put a pause on this week, I think. I just got an indication that I may have to go in a different direction with this piece, which is completely fine, but I'm going to have to put a pause on this piece this week. I do have the two pieces I can't share, the freelance and the commission piece that I'm working on. So I need to go get those started, and then I'm going to get these started. And I'll try to come up with something else to do this week as well. I have an idea. You'll see. All right, I'm back. And I've got those two pieces that I can't share with you this week already carved up. I got to paint them still, but I'll move on forward with that a little bit later this week. What I want to do next is I've had this idea in my head for probably about 2 to 3 years now. And I want to start making like little frames. So I've got some, I went out this weekend and grabbed some nice wood. This is some oak, and I got myself set up to start making frames to cut the little rabbit into the wood. So I got all that all ready to go, and I cut some pieces of wood to make a frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together this frame. I know there's probably better tools to do this. I'm just using what I have for now, and if I get into it more, then I'll do more. But for now, this is how I'm going to put it together. And just going to build the frame. And then I'm going to do a small little carving to put inside of that frame. And that's going to be my extra project this week. So let's see how this works. This will be my guinea pig for this type of work to see if I can figure out how to get it together all smoothly. All right, I strapped it all together and it's all dry now. I got it all together. Look at that. So I'm going to unstrap it and test it and see if it's any good. And then I got to cut a piece of wood that'll fit in there and then carve it. I'm also going to stain it, but I don't have to do that tonight. So let's take off the strap, see what we're looking at. Click, click. It's all together there. I give it a quick sand, but it looks pretty good. I think that'll be nice. Sand that up real quick, clean up the edges a little bit. Sweet. And now I've got a piece of wood that is cut to fit the frame. All I gotta do now is go and try to figure out what I'm gonna draw on here to get her all ready to go. So this will be my little project this week too. Frame made. Good. So I realized that the last couple of little bits have been show and tell basically. But I'm going to change that coming up because I'm going to start getting carving this piece. This is, I listened to the audiobook of Jurassic Park this week, just as I was working on my other Stuff. And I decided to do a little drawing of the I'm going to call them Compys. Procompinathus, I think, something like that. They say it so many times in the book, but it can't come out my mouth. They're little scavenger dinosaurs that they had poisonous little bites, and if they bit you, you would just fall to sleep, and they would eat you little bits by little bits. But so happy, huh? So I have this little drawing of the Compys that I have done, and this is what I'm going to carve to put into this tiny little frame. It is quite small. The frame makes it look pretty large, but this piece itself is just about 4 inches tall. But when it's in a frame, it's going to look real nice. So I'm going to carve this piece up this week as well, along with all my other little tiny carvings. I think I'm going to do a tiny carving first, though. I want to do this when I'm maybe a little bit more awake. I'm just going to relax and do some tiny carvings tonight. And I'll get to filming me carving tomorrow, starting with this one. I didn't mention it's about 10:30 right now at night, and I reserve this time for relaxing myself. I don't know. I felt like I haven't done a whole lot this week, so I'm kind of moonlighting and vlogging something a little bit tonight to show this. I'm going to start relaxing and just carving for fun. And then in the morning, back to work. It's Thursday morning, and between carving last night and relaxing and this morning talking on the phone with my mom a little bit, I was carving a handful of these tiny little carvings. Let me turn the camera down and show you what I've done. So I've done this little whale, an octopus, a bee, an owl, the platypus, a manatee, a panda bear, a pizza slice, the cactus, a rocket, a skunk, and a little itty bitty snake. Now I'm gonna push all those aside, and I'm gonna carve this one on camera, and then I'm going to carve the Compy piece that I drew up last night. All right, I do have to paint stuff this week. I have the commission pieces that I need to paint and get those ready to ship off next week. But I have all of my tiny carvings that I'm doing this week carved. And then I've got the little Compy piece that I finished just today, carved up as well, ready to paint. So I'm gonna paint all these, and then I'm gonna ink, and then I got some stuff I need to do tomorrow if I can get to it. Yay. All 13 of the tiny carvings are painted and ready to ink. I've got a hole drilled out on the back for them to hang from a single nail. And then I've got the 3 Compys piece that I'm kind of testing with this little framed idea, ready to go into the frame, painted and get inked as well. Now I bought this black wood stain to just test out on this frame. I'm going to do that real quick, stain this up, and then I can start inking once that is all good and dry. So that shouldn't take too long. I tried out a water-based stain this time around. One of the reasons is because that's all they had for black when I went to go grab some. And then the guy at the store said that it's going to dry quicker and easier to clean up. So Probably should have read the directions on the can before I started that. It's a little gloopier than oil-based stains that I'm used to. I got it all worked out. I brought a rag out and wiped it down with the rag and got it into all the grain and everything. So it looks really nice now. That should be dry in about 2 hours, and I'll come back in 2 hours and put the piece inside of it. Well, I probably won't be able to do that because the ingles still need to be drying. But it's all good. It's all good. Now it's time. I'm going to let that dry. I've got a couple emails to respond to, and then I'll come back and ink everything up in the afternoon. Woo! Actually, I think I did that correctly. I just read the instructions on the can. And to sum it up, it's gloop it on, then wipe it off. And that's exactly what I did. So I think it'll be good. It looks good. And that's going to do it for me this week. I got to finish up and tie up the loose ends on the freelance piece I've been doing all week long. So I need to go and work on that. That should take me through the rest of the afternoon. And these pieces are finished. So once again, thanks for hanging out with me this week. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks. Bye.